Greetings, friends! We had a little detour to the world of Warhammer. Got a little confused. But now is the time to get back on track and return to the Feast. You, and mostly you, the guy in the comment section from a year ago, should know that there has been an attempt to make a Battlereport with my crab regiment. Not that I did not go and play a game and record it. The game just wasn't that interesting. I used new playtest rules for version 18 of the game, and upon flipping to the page with rules of my cult, I discovered it was hit with a nerve hammer. The burrowing mechanic was reworked a little, and what's even worse, my crabs are no longer immune to dangerous terrain tests. While playing the game, my gentle artistic mind wasn't able to adapt to these changes, so I completely botched my tactics. Both of my big crabs suffered pathetic deaths by the end of the turn 2. One died in the melee, and the other one cowardly ran off the board when retreating. To be honest though, this is how Turnip 28 games go sometimes, and I find it glorious and beautiful. The game's fun little quirks like panic, retreat mechanics, dangerous terrain tests, and high inaccuracy can dramatically turn the tide of the battle. And that is all a huge part of the Turnip 28's charm. Even though I suffered a devastating defeat, the game was fun enough. It was just not something to dedicate the whole Battlereport video to. But I took away some lessons from this game. The first lesson is that I should get good. The second lesson is that maybe I don't need to include 2 giant freaking crabs in my lists, no matter how cool they are. And that brings me to the third and final lesson, and that is my army has very limited mobility, even with its burrowing mechanics. I need some cavalry units to be able to move faster around the board. There are 2 types of cavalry units available, the whelps and the bastards. I decided to just make some cavalry models, and I'm just going to use them as whelps or bastards, depending on the model count of the unit. But what should they look like so they fit in this cult? I'm going to take a lazy approach this time and just make dudes on slightly mutated horses. Let's get to work! Models I used for this project are 3 mounted guards from my most favorite kit of all, Dungeonsandlasers Townsfolk miniature set. Can't recommend this box enough. The 4th guy is a combination of Paris Miniatures horse and legs with guard's torso from the aforementioned D and L set. I was quite happy how I managed to fit them together. I cut off the horses' mouths and got to replacing them with duck beaks. I shaved a little lump of green stuff and milliput mix on the horses' faces to create the upper part of the beak, then let it cure. Then I finished the lower part of the beak. Their hooves must go too. They will be replaced with duck feet. To sculpt them, I started with a little triangle shape and then pushed my tool into it, which created the basic shape of webbing and the fingers at the same time. I tinkered with it a little until I was happy with the result. Then I repeated the process 16 more times. When the duck feet were all cured, I just glued them to the horse's legs. Naturally, there were some gaps, so I just filled them with green putty. I also sculpted some basic fur on the horses to create separation between legs and the body, as they will differ in both texture and color in the end. Didn't like the horses' ears, so I cut them off. Good decision. Made the heads look more duck-like. Then I glued the models to the bases. I will be multi-basing again. 2 horses on one 60mm base and 2 on individual 40mm bases. When all guys were glued into place, I sculpted them some green stuff and toothpicks visors. I applied texture to the bases and wanted to proceed to the next steps, but something felt off about these models. With all the duck features, those long wavy horse tails just didn't fit anymore. So I just cut them off and sculpted little ducktails in their place. Way better. Makes the whole silhouette feel more balanced. Now for the swampy cloaks, more texture, gluing on little crab babies and shaping the plastic art banner. If you have seen my earlier Feast of Charybdis videos, you should be pretty familiar with these steps. If not, pause this video and go watch them! Now! I'll wait. Models are finished. Now let's give them a quick paint job, following the steps I have done before. The only exception are duck horses here, painted white with orange legs and beaks. Ducks living in the swamps are colored a little differently, but I think this color scheme makes for a nice contrast. Cavalry is now battle ready. And once again, I love what I created. Not sticking to crab mouths and using horses instead was a good decision. Let's take a moment to admire how beautiful they are. Let's test how my colt will fare in the game now. Let's go! The mission is Long March against my opponent's great proboscis. In the first round, epic melee took place in the center, where scuttlers managed to erase my opponent's fodder off the board. The crab was not able to withstand the swords and axes of enemy's bastards though, and he too returned to the map from which he came. My cavalry, black-powder whelps, had their chance to shine now. They chose an easy target, the lone snob, and viciously charged him. He stood no chance against 4 men on duck horses. Whelps were not so brave in the presence of the bastards though. They used their dash move to move back. Then the proboscis marched forward, hence the name of the colt. But in the next turn, the elephant failed the dangerous terrain test when retreating after being hit by the fodder shooting. In the next round, bastards charged the stump gun and somehow lost and retreated, leaving only their snob behind. He became the target of fodder's charge and didn't survive it. In the meantime, whelps captured the center objective. The remaining bastard wanted revenge, so he charged the fodder. The sight of charging rude beasts scared the fodder to retreat, but bastard was faster and angrier and ran them down. And once again, whelps shined when they killed Boletus, proboscis cold stuff. So I won the match on Headless Chicken. This game was quite enjoyable for me, but I guess my opponent has similarly horrible experience as I did in my first game. Losing your cold special unit so early sucks, especially if it didn't manage to do anything meaningful yet. So we played another game. We chose the Burnt Toast mission with line of impassable terrain in the middle. And oh boy, I have made some dumb decisions this time. I borrowed my stump gun at the start of the turn 1, only for it to be immediately destroyed by a blunder. Then, all happy and excited with my new whelps, I moved them to shoot at enemy's fodder from behind the corner. The fodder won, and half of my whelps were gone. During the game, Proboscis Colt was advancing slowly to my board half. In the third turn, the central piece of impassable terrain was destroyed, revealing the final objective onto which I have rushed my fodder unit. Another epic fight took place between scuttlers and bastards, where they managed to kill each other. And that may be because we kinda forgot we should take turns in melee fights. Two toadies clashed in the little toady off, and it was nail-biting, as we went for several bouts without even scratching each other. But in the end, Crab Toady triumphed. His victory was short-lived though, as he was stomped to the ground by the elephant moments later. My opponent was still slowly advancing his unit of brutes, making it into my board half to capture one of my objectives. My fodder was severely thinned by shooting and retreated to the board edge. With most of my army gone, I had limited options. And to make things even worse, my toady and last surviving snob didn't manage to maneuver out of enemy unit's range. The great proboscis charged her and secured a win for my opponent on Headless Chicken. GG! Well, that was a couple of interesting and fun games. Charging enemy units with giant crab is always super satisfying, and borrowing hijinks can be useful too, but can be pretty tricky. And of course, adding cavalry to my army was a good choice. With added mobility and unit variation, I feel more flexible playing it. Now I can't wait to play more games, although I am still figuring out if playstyle of this code suits me. And there are still other codes to build and play, you know. Future will tell. Once again, the topic of my next video will be a surprise one, as I am again not sure what will it be about. I have been doing some Warhammer stuff for the past months, painting Dungeonsandlasers minis, and currently I am planning on building some Turnip 28's destructible terrains. All great projects. So any video I will put out is going to be another banger. In the meantime, go follow my Instagram, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and if you consider yourself a big fan of mine, you can tip me on coffee.com. And that is all for today. Get off the internet now and go kitbash something cool. Paint your models and go play some games. Bye!